Go. Let's go. I'm live. Yes. Okay. Wow. I'm also sweaty. What can I say? I'm in a hot place, you guys. All right. And I've discovered I forgot my tripod. So we're just gonna we're just gonna give this a shot, people. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I might actually have it. No. Oh, I do. Awesome. My little mini one. Okay, so while people are finding us, I'm going to hey. Okay, bear with me. I just found my tripod. I thought I didn't have one with me, but I do. So I'm going to hook it up. Let me put you down right here. Thank you. It's nice to be seen. Nice to see you. Sorry, guys. I thought I didn't have a tripod, but let me try to hook this up real quick. You know how it is. This is just like on the fly sometimes. I was like, let me pull over. Uh-oh. Sorry. Oh, gosh. That might not be the best shot, huh? Hey, guys. I'm trying to pop my phone out of the protective, thingy here, the cover. Oh, shoot. Bear with me. This is what you get when it's not a professional thing. You just stop and pull over and start talking to people. And maybe I will have to hold the phone. There we go. This was giving me the hard time. Las Arenas is super chill. It is beautiful. And I just had to start focusing on the beauty again. We are scheduled to open back up. Apparently, they're saying July 1st. Airports are open. But look at these babies. I'm sitting here by the beach again, and there are these kids out here in their undies, just splashing with their dad or, uncle, whoever this is, some male person. And it's lovely. It's lovely, lovely. Hey, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? So I'm here. This is where I am again, by the water. And, yeah, I had to pull over because, shit's been crazy lately. Things have been bananas, and I was very affected by that. I mean, we all have been, right? But I had to get my balance back, you guys. I had to get myself back together because, I operate from a place of like what's good and how wonderful things are. And I was being sucked into this other place. Hey, Danny. I was being sucked into this other place I did not want to go. And I'm like, I cannot be effective in my own life, much less in offering anything positive to anybody else, if I'm all twisted and bent out of shape. And my people are checking in. What's going on, you guys? I feel like I should give you a better shot. The thing is, I don't have my mic with me. This is a totally impromptu thing. So if I step outside, let's try it. Okay, I'm gonna step outside so you can see the beauty. But if it's too noisy, I'll get back in. Okay? I'm gonna need you guys to tell me if the wind is a mess, if it's not working. No gym yet. It's a crime. I need the gym. How's the noise level? The wind? I can't see you. It's hard for me to see. Anyway, the gym. Sweet. Okay, so I'm just gonna do it from here. How about that? The gym. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, or maybe July 1st, the gym will open back up. God, please, because I need it. Although it'll be 1,000 degrees in there. My gym doesn't have air. Awesome. Okay, great. My gym doesn't have air. It's got fans. So what I'll have to do is just get it and go early in the morning and knock it out. Plus the sweating is good, dude. See the babies on the beach? They're so sweet. Anyway, so it'll just cleanse my system and all of that, all the junk food I've been eating. Just sweat that out. But as you can see, I can't see. Give you a tour. So I'm in this place. Let's get a little walk around. So this is what they call like the fish area of the fish market. See all the flags? Tell me if the wind is bad again. So there's like people come and just hang out here. There's a little market over there in the background where you can like get your beer and come sit down. But over here, and it's over now because it's early in the morning. But the fishermen come in with their boats. And they sell their fish. So where is it? Right here. Let's walk over here. Look at these babies though. Look at how cute is that? Okay, so I'll walk over here and you can see where the fishermen come and do their thing in the morning. And you can come out here and like you can get fresh lobster, fresh snapper, octopus, anything. Hola. So they have these stalls here, which are of course now empty because it's like 4 something in the afternoon. But you come and they'll have like all their coolers out. And, oh my gosh, this one little baby's naked. I love a naked baby. So cute. His little butt. His little butt is facing me. He's adorable. He must be like 2. Anyway, so they come and they say, oh, another naked baby. I love when they're just making them around. Where's that baby? No. They're so sweet. Anyway, and you come and you tell them what you want, of course. And what's he got? This man's lighting up something. Hola. ¿Puedo grabar? ¿Puedo grabar? ¿Qué tiene? Okay, let me see if I can turn it on so you guys can see. I don't know. Ah, ¿qué era? He's got something. ¿Qué era? Dorado. Hey, this is dorado. Dorado, I think, is mahi mahi. Sí. Pero ahora, ¿qué vas a hacer con este? Ah, okay. So he's going to make a soup with those leftovers there. Look at this little baby on the ground right here. How cute is he? How cute is he? Este bebé. Y la mamá. Dile hola a la gente. Estamos en vivo. Hi. That was her baby I just showed you. Mother's on your face. He's 4. I little one 4. So anyway, folks come and hang out here. And so already, you guys, doesn't it feel better than being mad about stuff? I'm gonna get back in the car because I don't know about you, but it sounds like, it feels like would be noise, wind noise. Tell me again, are you hearing a lot of wind noise? Is it hard to hear me? Dime, por favor, somebody let me know. Anyway, so like I was saying, I had my moment of feeling like frustrated and angry and outraged and deeply hurt and traumatized and all that. Okay, still good, awesome. I had my moments of feeling like that. And, I posted my stuff on Facebook. What does that say? Love to see the cost of the fish. There's nobody out there right now. It's low, I'll tell you that. Low, let me tell you this. So I happen to come here. There's another guy I go to. And baby Nick, I know, the babies are so cute. There's another guy I go to, and I get whole fish. You can buy them whole. They'll scale them for you. They'll fillet them for you. But for example, whole mero, no, chillo. Which one is it? Chillo, I think it's snapper. Is I think like 100. Let me get this right. 300 pesos, and that's about $5-6 for whole fish. And there's another one which I found out I think is not supposed to be eating now called cotorra, which is a parrotfish. And there's a whole environmental thing supposedly. My Dominican friends are like, it doesn't matter, you can eat cotorra. But the expats are like, don't eat it because they poop out sand and it helps to build a coral reef. Like, I don't know, but I've eaten a bunch of cotorra because it's so good. Those are $1.50 a piece, which is like just under $3. So you can eat very well here. It's fresh and delicious. I had a big giant lobster on the beach the other day. Oh my God, I have to go pay that man. I forgot because I didn't have cash on me. And I was like, oh, I have some cash in my car and I'll go back and get it. But then the curfew happened. So I had to run. I need to drive over there, you guys. Cotorra, isn't it delicious? Cotorra is so good. But I forgot to take the money to him the next day. He's going to think I'm a total con artist. Everybody saw Dominicans eat cotorra all the time. And those are the ones I see out there with the spear guns. You guys have heard me talk about the spearfishers before, fishermen. That's what they're catching because I guess they come in close and they're easy targets. I don't know, but I feel like cotorra better figure it out. They're so good, right? My son tears them up. He will eat like 2 in a sitting or whatever. Yeah. So, I was like, listen, life is good. And that is not to say that we don't have our issues and all that. But I had to focus on getting myself right because what good am I if I'm all twisted up and stuck in anger and stuck in deep pain? Like if we have trauma, you have to heal your own trauma before you can be any good to anybody else, right? And so I was like, okay, I need to talk to the people today and I need to kind of convey this or really kind of unpack this because if you guys recall, if you were on my call before when I was like, we have to send them love, the people who are doing the harm, we have to send them love. People are like, I can't send them love yet, I'm mad and all that. And I get it, right? It makes sense. And let me just say this. I won't go into the sending love part, although I do feel like there's validity in that. Let's do this. Let's love ourselves first because I think just like with the colorism issue in the DR, it all stems from like not being okay with ourselves. If someone feels like they are threatened by another human being, they don't want that human being to exist, or they don't want that human being to thrive, they don't want that human being to take something that they feel that they can't have. Why is this happening? Uh, I know. We're talking about the car issue. Send me an email. I'll give you information about that. Oh, by the way, let me say this real quick. So those of you who are purchasing the DR Go package on my website, freeislandgirl.com, if you're wanting the DR Go package, which is a whole bunch of information about like banking and how to buy a car and health insurance, all that stuff, I'm having to make some updates to it. So forgive me because that's going to take a little bit longer to deliver. Because of all this COVID stuff, there have been some changes, and so I've got to update, and everyone's really slow. I went to a place today to get some information about a reimbursement on like a medical bill, and like the guy's like on vacation indefinitely, so it's just taking a little bit longer. But I can get those to you. Don't worry. But in the meantime, I'm happy to answer some questions for you. What was I saying? Basically, you guys, here's the long and short of it. You gotta take care of yourself, okay? If you're not okay, you know how in the airplane they're like, put your own mask on first and then help your child or help your elderly neighbor or whatever. It's the same thing. If we're not okay with who we are, we're not gonna feel inclined to help the next person. Or even if we are inclined, we're not gonna be able to do as good of a job as we could if we were okay, right? If you're feeling all stressed out and your money's not right and you haven't eaten properly, you're more likely to yell at your kids or your spouse or whatever, or your employees than you would be, if you were okay in your own skin, right? That's what I have to say. Now we can talk about that. I was going to talk about that, but maybe people don't need to hear that today. Would you rather hear about like how much the fish costs? You want to see some more beach? Because my message really was finding like, so okay, here's a thought, right? Here's a concept. The world as we each see it is a mirror, right? It's a reflection of what our experience is inside. So like I come here and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at the cute this and look at the beautiful that and look how wonderful things are. Because I feel like I see beauty inside of myself. I see beauty, I see peace, I see love. I feel that in me. And so I look around and I see that in other people, right? Or I could say, oh my God, this is so awful. Look at this atrocity. Look at this injustice. Look at this horrible thing. And maybe that's coming because I've got, unresolved trauma. Hola, NYC. Maybe I've got some unresolved issues that only, my filter is pain and suffering and anguish and abuse or whatever. And so that's what I see more of. And again, it goes back to if we heal our own stuff, then not only are we more likely to see something else, but then we're not going to pass on that stuff that happened to us, the abuse, the trauma, the whatever. You with me? And so that doesn't mean like give people a pass who are, if someone's abusing you, you don't sit there and go, oh, well, gosh, I'm sorry that you feel you hurt. No, I mean, you're going to take yourself out of that situation. You're going to say it's not okay, but you're doing it from a place. This is why I want to move to DR. Yeah, I mean, it is. I feel really safe here. And so there's a video right now that's hopefully it's finished uploading that I did the other day. Actually, it was a couple weeks ago on the beach. It took forever to upload for whatever reason, where I was talking to people about how I feel safe here as a single person with my son, not just person, but a single woman with my child, pretty much anytime, anywhere. If I get stopped by the police, like I don't usually get stopped by the police. Sometimes I'll pull people over just randomly. They want to see your registration, whatever. They're more just trying to kind of holler at you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any issues with people here. I totally drew me in again. You're not out. You can't leave me. Somebody subscribed. Hey, new subscriber. And hey to all the new subscribers. I see you guys jumping on. I see you jumping on. I love you for that. Yeah, listen, Dominicans, listen, well, we could talk about so much. We could talk about, again, the Dominican Haitian thing. I had a conversation with a woman just now who's in London, but she's from another Caribbean island. And she was like, yeah, I thought I would never want to go to the DR because of how they treat Haitians. I was like, I know, I've had that conversation so many times. It's not that simple. Everybody's not like that. And what's my other point I was going to make about that? It's just a deeper issue. It's a deeper issue. There's plenty of people who are lovely. Listen, if you feel that way, how can you live in the US with what's going on there? How can you live in Europe with what's happened there? Like, pick a country, pick a region. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Right? So I say live wherever you want to live and be part of what makes it better. Be part of what makes it better. We don't embrace, oh, I know what I was going to say. We're not going to embrace wrongdoing, but I'd rather resist it from a place of positivity. Like, for example, positive resistance for me means I'm not going to fight against, stuff. I'm not going to fight against it. I'm going to fight for something. Maybe I fight with my vote. Maybe instead of voting for the people who are cheaters and deceptive and, abusers of policies and abusers of people, I'm going to vote for the person who's really going to work to improve something like that. You hear what I'm saying? Or I'm going to put my energy towards something that's positive instead of like bad, I'm protesting all the ugly stuff. Listen, you have to do what you feel called. Yeah, the climate in the US is a disaster. Here we go. Haitian men, Dominican women, they love us, period. I don't even know what that was. Sorry, I missed that. Whoever you are, your job on this planet is to love yourself first. Well, like really God first, then yourself, then you can love other people. There's a reason, there's a hierarchy. You cannot fully love another person well if you are not cool with who you are. If you're not cool in your own skin, whether it's dark skin or light skin or whatever, if you're not cool with any part of yourself, if you're not cool with your body, the way your body looks, if you're not cool with anything, you have to get that right first. You got to straighten your own stuff out before you can then really truly appreciate and be cool with another human being. And that can be someone in your own house. It could be your own family. Maybe you have an issue with, a sibling because of something, because you're not okay with yourself. Maybe your sibling got all the love and you're jealous because that person was a favorite. But maybe you need to get cool with what, who you really are. Maybe your parent didn't treat you right, but that's about your parent. You want to see the pretty beach? That's about the parent. So you have to begin to have an acceptance of yourself despite outer circumstances. I could sit here and go, well, my mom didn't do this, or my dad didn't do that, or how come, blah, blah, forever, right? It's true. If you can't love yourself, forget it. Game over. What's up, London? People all over the world. People all over the world. You guys, I feel so good. And I have to tell you this. This was a concerted effort on my part because just yesterday or the day before, I was like, I was going to a dark place. I was going to the dark side, you guys, because Facebook was getting to me. And I was like, let me respond to this crazy stuff I see. Oh my God, if another person says, well, why are they looting unnecessarily? And the looting's not helping. I was like, okay, let me help you understand what's really going on. I was getting caught up in that. And I completely felt like someone was sucking out the energy of me. And well, thank you so much. I was Morena, I appreciate that. Rush. I'm sweaty. I'm glad you think I look good, but I'm glowing because it's like a fine mist of humidity on me. I had to pull myself out of that because I literally felt my energy shifting from usually my high vibe, happy, loving self to these motherfuckers are gonna make me nuts. Seriously, and I don't I do have a bit of a potty mouth, as you've noticed, but I'm not like profane. And I wasn't getting super profane, but I was getting annoyed. I was getting ignored at the ignorance. I was getting ignored at the willful blindness that people have. Like, well, I don't understand this from a place of like, you're not trying to understand because you don't want to give up the privilege and the position that you got in an unwarranted fashion. You didn't really deserve to have that position. You didn't really deserve to have that power. You got it by virtue of this whole system that's twisted, right? Ugh. And I was like, I cannot continue with this because it is sucking the life out of me. It is taking me to a place where I'm not going to be effective, not even in my own life. And so once again, put on my own mask first. Let me take care of me, then I can be in a much better position to do something that's going to be positive for the world around me, for my child, for my friends, for my family, for the community, blah, 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 extrapolate out from there. So that's what I'm trying to say, you guys. If it's in your own family, stop engaging in the conversations that make you nuts. Stop engaging in the dialogue that's going in circles because some people, you can't save everybody. You can't save everybody. Titanic, if it's going down, you better get your own raft. You better get your own raft. And those who want balance, absolutely. Those who want to find the answer, those who are looking for the light, like truly looking for, thank you, Rush. I don't know who you are, but I sure do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Those who are seeking truth, like really truly want to understand, are gonna let you know. They're gonna find it. Let me tell you something. I've had white friends of mine, Americans, Canadians, wherever, a Danish woman I know here, tell me just come and say different things about, one of them said, I've been thinking about you, Kelly, and I wanted to reach out. And I was kind of nervous because I thought I didn't know how to say it. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth. And I felt like if I tried to, wait till I got the exact right words, I might never say anything. And so forgive me if I get this wrong, but when she went on to talk about, she even said, oh, my first boyfriend was a Black man and I was so in love with him. And I was even intimidated by his family because they were well educated, more educated than I was, or my family, and had money, all this kind of stuff. And I never thought about myself as being privileged just because I'm white. And I guess that makes me part of the problem. Anyway, she went on to say these different things. But she was nervous about, I hope this isn't offensive. And so I sent a quick message back to her because I was, kind of busy. And I was like, let me just tell you something. Just the fact that you even tried to do that is beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. There are people out there who don't necessarily know, and they may make mistakes, but you will know the ones who are really trying. Of course, you have to let the crap roll off your back and keep moving. But there are those who really are trying to get it and to understand and to not like hit that clang of like the wrong thing. They want to make the right decisions. They want to make the right statements. They want to find a way to be on board. And she's like, I really feel bad about what's happening in the US. And I was like, that's all you have to do. And that's not all you have to do, but that's definitely the first step. Now, the next thing is decision by decision by decision. Notice, how you're reacting to certain things. Notice how you are behaving around certain people. And that's not to condemn you, but it's just to make you become aware. I said something in another post I did on someone's Facebook page. I was like, look, this becoming unbiased or undoing this privileged mentality isn't like a one-shot deal. You don't just go, oh, okay, I realized, whoops, I made a mistake, and now I'm cured. It's not like popping a pill. It's a concerted effort over time. It's like trying to lose weight. You don't just go, okay, I'm not going to eat that cake today, and then ting, you lost 20 pounds, right? You have to make decisions on a regular basis about, okay, I am going to take myself to the gym, even though I don't feel like it, even though it's uncomfortable. I really want to have this ice cream. But what's the end result, right? It's a process. It is a process. And so it's a process for us too. It's a process for me not to go, that person is pissing me off because they got it wrong. Sorry, things keep popping up. They got it wrong. And so I don't want to engage with that person. I'm talking about Black people, not Black, brown people, like completely right off wholesale, people who get it wrong or who are making mistakes or who are putting their foot in their feet in their mouths, or who even are not even trying to be right. We still have a responsibility to do what we need to do to make it good for us and for everybody around us. Does that mean that we're responsible for someone else's work? No, but we're responsible for ourselves. And so we all have to do something to improve our individual state. Just because someone else is doing something bad to you does not let you off the hook. You see my water bottle back here? This is my life. I have to go get this refilled. Just because someone else is doing something wrong doesn't take you off the hook. You still have the responsibility of doing your best. Sorry, just because someone else is doing fucked up shit doesn't mean that you get to do it too. Oh, so they slap me, I'm going to slap them back. And again, I'm not talking about, oh, turn the other cheek and we get battered. No, I mean, if someone's coming for you, defend yourself, but that's it. You get to ward off actual harm. I'm not talking about just physical harm. You get to keep if someone's like assaulting you verbally or offending you, then, tune out of that channel. Don't listen to, don't engage in that conversation. Disengaging is a form of one self-preservation, and diffusing what would otherwise be a very, what is the word? Like unproductive argument or conversation. Just diffuse it. Was I talking to you guys one time when I said I was in a relationship with a guy who I didn't realize it at first, but after some time, you go through things with people, and then you have an argument or something, and you're like, no, you try to explain your point, and they explain their point, and you go through all this stuff. And then after a while, maybe months, maybe a year, maybe two, whatever period of time it takes, you realize, hey, wait a second, he's not really trying to make sense. He just likes to argue. That's his default. He grew up in a household where they argued, or he feels like he can win, or whatever the reason is. Maybe you understand that there's something going on with that person. They're not really trying to make sense. That's what I'm talking about. And so how much sense does it make for me to continue to try to go, no, it really is this way, or no, remember when you said that, continue to make sense out of it. Thank you, your ex. Hello, that's why they're exes, right? At a certain point, you realize I'm wasting my own time, my own energy by continuing to engage with this tomfoolery. This is some nonsense. It's the same thing, whatever kind of situation you want to talk about, whether it's racism or pick something. If you continue to engage on that level, you're part of the problem too. It's very simple. You are part of the problem too. If you are not taking responsibility for changing your behavior. Hey, Los Angeles, what's up, my people? How you doing? I have a certain love for LA, even though LA is a little crazy. I love LA. I have so many friends in LA. I miss LA. I don't miss the traffic. I don't miss all that, but I miss like going to lunch at some great spots. Anyway, what I was saying was, if you are not choosing to act in a different way in a situation that is contentious, that is harmful, that is abusive, that's just negative. What's bothering me? What? Do I look unsettled? Physically manifesting? What do you mean? Do I look like something's wrong with me? Please break it down. What do you see? What do you see? I look like I'm not okay. I actually feel great. I feel really well. I'm not sure what you see, but I feel good. I don't know. And I feel like my energy is really good too. A narcissist. Yes, I guess he was a narcissist. I don't know. He was cray cray. And like I said, so at a certain point, I had to shift because continuing to engage in conversations that went nowhere, and they kept me in that spiral of going, well, wait a minute, how come? How come? And at the time, I knew a woman who was like, no, you should just apologize. And, as a man, he needs to feel like he's got the power and all this kind of crap. And so for a long time, I was like, well, all right. And this was a woman who had been in like a long-term marriage, and she'd been through crap in her own marriage. And I was like, well, maybe she knows something. I don't know. I mean, I'm newly married, and I was married to this guy, and maybe I should blah blah whatever. And so I did that for a while, even though I knew this isn't me being crazy. This is not me starting something. I'd come back and go, oh, I'm sorry. And every time I said I'm sorry, then it was okay, right? As long as I was willing to like take the boot on my neck, it was okay. And at a certain point, I was like, fuck that. Like, that's not what it is. I can't keep engaging in this because it was harming me. It was diminishing me. It was making me feel bad. I was getting depressed. I was feeling unhappy. And I'm like, I wasn't like this before I was in this relationship. I was really happy. I was really okay. I had to check myself. It's easy to go, well, he's crazy and he came from this family and he had these issues and he blah, blah, him, and point to someone else, right? Or my boss is angry or my boss has issues. It's easy. It's so easy. It takes the pressure off of us altogether to go, that person, those white people, that man, this woman, whoever has the issue. Maybe they do. But if that's all you're going to do, you've missed a huge opportunity to make a change because you got to. Thank you so much. I do believe myself to be very positive, More, and I appreciate that you see that and you recognize that. I do believe that. And it's a constant effort, right? Like staying in shape. You don't just get in shape and then poof, stop. You have to keep on. You got to keep on with it. And so there are times I get triggered for sure. This stuff that happened recently completely triggered me. And I got caught up in it. That's what I said. I got very caught up in it. And I was like, no, this and whatever. But then I had to go, wait a second, Kelly, you're becoming part of it. You're becoming part of this whole dialogue, them versus us, whatever. And that's not to say there's not some historical truth, obviously. That's not to say that, we can see certain things that are quite apparent. That's like the first layer. I'm talking about go deeper, but how am I reacting to that? That's where it is. It's a reactive position. Do I just want to be reactive or do I want to be proactive in how I behave in my life day to day? Do I want to be proactive that when I wake up in the morning, instead of grabbing my phone going, oh, what's the latest crap that happened today? Let me see the latest headline and this and that, and then get caught up in that stuff again. No, I want to start my day with what's going to make me feel good. What's going to make me have the most productive, good feeling day possible. And when I say productive, it doesn't have to mean like work. It could be that, but it could also be productive from the standpoint that I'm feeling really good. My energy is great. And so what I'm going to produce energetically is going to be positive. I'm going to emit great feelings to the world, to the people around me. And what does that mean? That means I'm going to get that back. I'm going to attract other positive situations. Whether someone, like, I get online, someone's like, hey, you look great, or I love your energy. Hello, ding, I win, because my positive energy was communicated, right? Was transmitted, and so I get it back. That's what I'm talking about. It's really quite simple. It's really quite simple. The question is, do you want to stay stuck? Well, let me not judge. Do you want to stay wherever you've been and get the results that you've been getting? Or do you want different results? If you're happy with the results you're getting and you're happy with how you feel in your life, if you're happy the way your relationships feel at work, at home, in the world, if you're happy with how you present to yourself, if you're happy with the way you look at yourself in the mirror, are you smiling, you feel good, you're happy to wake up, and you're like, yes, or you wake up and you're like, oh shit, here we go again with another day of this crap. You get to decide. Because if you're waking up going, man, I'm so grateful that I had a good night's sleep, or wow, that was a super comfortable pillow. I mean, it could be down to that level. Or I love this person who's here next to me. I love that maybe I can't be with that person, but I can call up and talk to these people that make me feel good. Whatever. You can choose to find things that make you feel good and make you project something positive and useful. Or you can get up and be like, oh, well, this is wrong and that's wrong. And oh no, it's raining today, or blah, blah, whatever. Find the negative stuff and dwell on that and see what comes back to you. I'm just saying, people, it's really quite simple. And so let's talk about briefly the situation in the US, right? It's real easy to be upset and to point a finger and go, yeah, well, this should have happened and that should have happened. This should never have happened. And that, okay. And then what? And then what? There's some obvious things. And so am I going to be angry? Is that what's my anger going to produce in that situation? Like, seriously, what is my anger going to produce? Now, I'm not saying anger is bad, because if we weren't supposed to be angry, we wouldn't have that emotion, right? But what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with your anger? Are you going to use it to be destructive in some way? Either, meaning within yourself, your energy is like burning you up, chewing you up inside, so then you have like high blood pressure, or then you are like lashing out at people, because I don't feel like that's a useful use of your anger. Or you can be angry and decide, well, you know what? Let me do something that's going to help some people. Let me do something that's going to activate a positive response in the world. Maybe I'm going to go and help some disadvantaged people. Maybe I'm going to use my voice. Maybe you're a great writer. Maybe you write an article and you submit it, or you put it online that helps make people feel good, or it helps to elucidate some issues so people get some understanding. That's a great use of your anger, right? You turn it into something positive, not just like screaming and yelling and cussing and kicking shit down. I'm not talking about looting. I'm not talking about that. And even the word looting, it's like, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but I hope you hear what I'm saying. How are you choosing to use the energy that you have every day? Your heart is beating, right? We all have God-given energy. What are we doing with it? That is my question, people. That is my question to you. So today I woke up and I was like, I feel really, really good. Interestingly, I did not just get up and look at my phone, look at the headlines. I saw some stuff, but I was like, I'm not going in there like that. At least I'm not going in there with that mindset that I had before about what do they have to say today? No, I'm not doing that. And so all day long, I felt really, really good. And so I do the practices that I like to do. Again, this is not just a one-shot deal. I engage in regular practices about, you've heard me say this before, speaking favor over my life. Like, I have everything I need. I have more than enough. I'm living in a state of overflow and abundance. How do I know this? Because I look around me. Look at all the water in the ocean. How many gallons of water in the ocean? It's endless. How many air molecules are in the sky? It's endless. That's abundance. How many hairs are on your head? If you're bald, find something else. How many skin cells do we have? They're endless. They regenerate constantly. And you can take that, you may say like, oh, Kelly, that's too simplistic. But it is really simplistic. It is really simplistic. And then it gets, you extrapolate out from there. It's not a difficult concept, I don't think. We can make it difficult, and we can say, well, no, that's different because, okay, well, like I said, once again, it's a choice. I feel like that's it. That's my message. Drop the mic, go home. But I guess what I would say to follow up is just hope that helps you guys maybe consider how you choose to use the power that you have. because we each have so much power. We are each vested with so much strength. You may feel like you don't have the ability to effectuate change, but you do. It can be whether you choose to smile at somebody or not. Seriously. It can be whether you choose to grimace at a white person or a black person or a woman or whatever, or just offer like hello. Maybe it surprises them. Maybe it's even someone who's grimacing at you and you choose to, instead of giving a nasty back, you give a happy back. You give a like, you know what, God bless you, because the power of choice is awesome. Even if someone's doing you dirty, again, I'm not saying let someone stomp on you or harm you, but I'm saying if someone wants to grimace at you or say something nasty, you're like, you know what, I'm going to send you some love because obviously you need it. Because if you're coming from that space, you've got a broken spirit, a broken soul. And so what you really need is someone to love up on you a little bit, spiritually, energetically, and wish you well. Yeah. That does two things. One, it diffuses what they've got coming at you. And two, it builds you up. It's like this bubble of protection around you. So I'm coming from that place with it, you guys. That's what I have to say with my sweaty self. That's what I have to say. Whoo, it's hot, you guys. So here's some news, a little bit of different news. Well, it's not different, but the update, I guess, is that the DR, for those who are interested, is it's rolling out the reopening of businesses and the economy in phases. I think we're in phase 2 or 3 now. And apparently in the next few weeks, they're opening up airports because right now only Dominicans can come in, apparently. There are some flights that are leaving, but very few. But like I know people are calling me or writing me and saying, hey, can you find me a place to stay? So you want to come visit? Come visit. I would think those of you in the US are going to need a break. Wow, you guys, I am straight up glowing. Like the perspiration is real. You're coming? When are you coming, Morena? Come, let's break bread. Let's toast over a fresh coconut. That's my message today. That's my love transmission. I hope you felt it. Listen, doesn't it just feel so much better to be happy than to be angry? Seriously. And I get the anger. I get the outrage. I get the trauma. But I say, ay, pero mira ella, that little baby girl. So this is one of the kids I showed you earlier. And her dad, hola. You want to see her? There she is. Look at them. Hola, baby. Hola. You see them? Adios. She was all sandy. And her dad, whoever that is, just took her, like dipped her in the water, took off her little undies and stuff and dipped her in the water. And now they're walking off and she's all cleaned up. Very, very sweet. Anyway, so we each get to choose every day from the UK. I love it. People from everywhere. You see, love is expansive. I am not, listen, I'll talk about this stuff. I'll talk about, the problems and the issues. I'll talk about colorism. I'll talk about racism. I'll talk about whatever ism and problem that I may be having or the world may be having. We can certainly discuss it, but the objective is not to stay there, because what good does that do? We could have to open up the can of worms to clean it out, right? You got to open up the wound to rinse it out and put the dressing on it and make it clean. But if you put a Band-Aid on a dirty wound, it's just going to become infected and fester and get nasty and stink and all that stuff. And so, all right, we've talked about it. I'm not saying it's resolved, but I am saying I feel like the best way to come to a true resolution is to come from a place, you got to come from a higher frequency, right? They attribute Albert Einstein, the saying to Albert Einstein that, you cannot solve a problem from the same place that you created it. I don't know how many of you are into this, but the world is about frequency, right? Vibration. Nikola Tesla, many people have said that, right? I mean, I'm talking about even ancient civilizations have recognized that it's about energy and how you bend energy, right? How you mutate, whatever. Let me just not go too far into it, but it's about how you use the energy that you have, your heartbeat, your thoughts, all of that. That's energy. And if you use it in a way that is positively creating things, you're going to get that back. If you use it, and so there's like, it's like a rainbow. There's the low frequencies of like anger, jealousy, despair, things like that, hatred. But yes, you got to expect something different. And so if I'm reacting to a problem, someone's angry at me, someone hates me, and I'm going to react out of equivalent hatred and anger. we're just going to go around in a circle. It's like a racetrack. I'm going around and around and around in a circle of the same anger and hatred and jealousy, whatever it is. That's not going to solve anything. But if someone hates me and I realize, wow, you know what? I see what that is, but I'm going to rebuff that from, I'm not ingesting your hatred. I'm not going to ingest it and then spew it back out either at you or at someone else. I'm mad because I got abused, so I'm going to go abuse someone else. Hello, the cycle's continuing. I got abused. It really hurt me. What's the first thing I need to do? I need to heal my own trauma, deal with my own anger, deal with my own outrage, deal with my own indignation, and then turn that around to something. You may not go from outrage and hatred to, I love you. There's a lot in between, but maybe you go to, like, maybe you just don't want to deal with that person. Maybe, what is that? Like a sort of a separation. Like, I need to just be apart from you so that I can heal. That's fair. It's not a violent reaction. Then you go from like, okay, I don't want to talk to you, to I can give you a little energy, but I don't want to fully engage. But I can maybe say, oh, hello. Maybe I can wish you well, but I don't really want to hug you. Fine. And then you go to like, all right, I have some compassion for you because I realize you are trapped in that anger. And man, that must be a horrible place to be. So you're going up, up, up the scale, like the energy scale to the top, right? Whereas if you talk about like chakras, you go up to the top, which is like, connecting with the divinity in yourself first. You realize that the divinity in ourselves is what makes our hearts beat, what makes our lungs breathe, what makes our hair grow, all that stuff. The same thing that makes a plant know when to sprout a bud, knows when to, produce fruit on the tree. Plants don't have to figure it out. It's just instinctive. And it's instinctive to us too. If we just allow ourselves to naturally sort of float to the top, which is a more peaceful place, by removing yourself from what is creating the anger and the trauma. And it may not be as easy as it sounds. I mean, it's one thing in theory, right? It's another thing in practice. If you were in a household, for example, where there's just rampant abuse, and let's say you're a child, you can't get out of that abusive cycle. Maybe the first place you can do it is in your mind. Maybe you just imagine, wow, what if I lived in a household where my parents didn't beat each other up? What if I lived in a household where we had enough food? What if I had a relationship where my boyfriend didn't cuss me out all the time or call me a bitch, or whatever kind of horrible thing could happen? What if I had a job where I felt appreciated? Maybe initially it just starts in your mind. Hello, hint, hint, hint. It all starts in our mind, right? You begin to consider other possibilities, and then, as if by magic, a little tiny door will open. You can see, oh, maybe that kid makes a friend who is kind to them. Maybe that kid makes a friend who has a family who operates differently. So the kid from the abusive household gets a glimpse into what a healthy, functional household looks like, right? Maybe the person who's in the abusive relationship, ends up having on their lunch break at work a conversation with someone who's in a healthy relationship. So they get a sense of like, wow, I don't have to put up with someone who's diminishing me or harming me or telling me I'm stupid or whatever, right? It is a process, but there's absolutely a way to elevate yourself out of that dark, sort of ugly feeling place. And so you don't have to respond to injustice or outrageous behavior by behaving in kind. That's not going to get you anywhere. That just keeps you mired in that muck. And so you go, wow, that's really terrible. You can distance yourself from it mentally, physically, what have you. You can begin over time to have compassion. You can respond with, an energetic, like, wow, man, I wish you love. You just begin to elevate. And the more you come up out of it, you begin to feel so much better. And then you're going to attract, I promise you guys, you will attract other people who are in that same zone as you are, and then better. And when I say better, again, it's not about judgment, but at a higher place where they're not even thinking about responding angrily to something. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Why am I going to blow my horn? Why am I going to cuss out somebody who did me dirty? You know what I'm saying? You just get higher and higher and higher. But that doesn't mean like when you get to a certain level, you never have an angry response. You never, get triggered. We do get triggered. It's a human experience. That's why it's called evolution, because it's not like snap, boom, you're there. It is a process. It's a process. But I believe you will find if you continue to work at this, just like you continue to work out in the gym, or you continue to practice good eating habits, you continue whatever kind of positive thing you want, you will find number one, it's going to get easier. At first, it may be like, oh, Kelly, come on. That's ridiculous. Okay, just try it. Try it on 10 separate occasions and see how you feel, the difference between the first time and the 10th time. If it does not get easier. If you don't feel like it's easier by 10 times, try 15. Just try it. Try it. Try smiling at someone you would ordinarily give a stank face to, right? Try being kind to someone that you have every reason to be angry with. And I'm not talking about like go out of your way to just be so sugary sweet, but just like instead of engaging in the argument, either don't engage at all or go, okay, I understand you have a different position. You don't even have to agree with them, but you know what? Oh, you know what? I get it. I understand. You know what? You're coming from a totally different place, and that's fair. That's totally fair that you see it that way. Validate them. Validate them, because the person who's being nasty to you is coming from that perspective. That is valid because their experience has brought them to that place. And it may be totally, like I'll call it like a wrong place from the standpoint of being abusive or being hateful. These people who did this murder, it's easy to go, oh, well, that's awful and it's hateful and it's not okay. It's not okay. But from where they came from, it's valid. The hate is valid to them because that's what they learned. That's what they believe. That's where they, maybe they grew up in a place that's hateful. Maybe they're surrounded by people who promote hate. So of course that's a valid place to be when that's where you grow up. Right? Those are the people you associate with who are telling you, if you're coming from a household where you have been made to feel that you are inferior, you're stupid, and those other people, those others are the reason that you can't get a job. Those others are the reason that you are feeling inferior, that you're feeling lesser than. It's valid to believe then that, well, then if I hurt them, that's reasonable. We can say, well, that don't make no fucking sense, but it's valid coming from their standpoint. You hear what I'm saying? You put yourself in the shoes of the other person, and it's like, oh, I get why they think that's okay. And so that's when you begin to go, wow, they are really, I have to keep using this, like, I should have better vocabulary, but that's really fucked up. They're in a really bad position. They are to be pitied because imagine living in the brain, in the body, in the heart of someone whose heart only feels hate. That's a heavy load to bear. Do they need to be punished, for example? Yes, they do. But they also need to be pitied, like, wow, that's awful. Because they don't get to wake up and be like, wow, life is beautiful and God is wonderful and I'm so happy. They don't get to feel that because they're stuck in that hatred. You don't have to be stuck there. Whether it's like, again, this big world issue or a personal issue or even an issue you have with yourself, right? You love yourself. Maybe you feel like I can't love myself because I was always told I'm ugly or I'm too fat or I'm too black or I'm too white or I'm too whatever. And so I can't love myself. First of all, I'm really sorry if that happened, but you have to begin to tell yourself, oh, well, sorry, I look like a greasy mess. You guys, I look like I smeared grease on my face. I didn't. It is sunblock though. You have to begin to tell yourself, those are not truths. Ask yourself, if you were programmed as a child, for example, in a certain way to believe, you're stupid. You can never be a doctor. How are you going to be a doctor when you grow up? You can't even add 2 + 2. You're not pretty enough to attract that kind of a guy. You don't come from the right kind of family to be wealthy. If you had that programming, you have to be the one to undo that and give yourself a lot of compassion and go, is that really true? Is it true that I'm too ugly to attract a certain person? Because I'll tell you one thing, I've seen a whole lot of so-called unattractive people with beautiful partners. And sometimes it makes you go, how did he attract her? How did she attract him? Right? We've seen those people, right? Or people who come from supposedly nothing and achieve greatness in life. There's so many stories about people who came from like the sticks or the wrong side of the tracks and made it to be super successful in life. So it's not true that just because you come out of a certain family or a certain background that you can't do certain things. So if you have the feeling about yourself, the first thing you need to heal is your own beliefs and start telling yourself, is it factually true Oh, thank you so much. See there? It's all about how you look at things. I'm like, I look like a greasy mess, and this lovely person says golden lady Stevie Wonder. Do you see there? It's about your perspective. It's about how you choose to see any issue. I can go, oh, I look awful. I'm all sweaty and greasy. Or I can go, oh, I have a glow. I have a golden glow. It's all how we choose to frame it. And so what makes me feel better, right? I'll use myself as an example. What makes me feel better to go, oh, I look sweaty and greasy and I'm like, oh, I gained pound. I gained 5 pounds since I've been on during this COVID thing. Or, you know what? My skin is responding to the humidity. I must be really healthy because I'm perspiring. How wonderful that my body's responding this way. How my body is responding to let me know that, oh, it likes that extra bread I ate. It's giving me a little extra curve on my hip. How nice. Or it doesn't like that because I have this extra stuff. And so how wonderful that my body is that healthy that it is going to respond right away and tell me, okay, Kelly, how about you have, you know, 2 mangoes today instead of some candy or whatever, right? You feel me? So it's incumbent upon all of us to decide how we want to interpret whatever we see around us. How are you going to choose to react to messages that you've received about yourself, messages that you have received about someone else, the world around us? What are you going to do with that information? Are you going to respond with, you know, another heap of that? Here's another scoop of like, oh, you're not good enough. Here's another scoop of that's why that person should be hated. Here's another scoop of why those people are bad. Or let me reframe it. Okay, I don't like what's happening there, but I'm not going to respond to it from the same vibrational point of view, from the same frequency. I'm not going to go from a frequency of anger and hatred, and they're wrong. I'm going to respond from a frequency, a higher frequency, which is going to give me a better result. I'm going to feel better. I'm going to have a better day. I'm going to attract better things to me, right? All right, I don't want to be a broken record. If you didn't get it, watch it again, okay? I think that's it for now. We have a 7 o'clock curfew. I didn't have a curfew when I was in high school because I was a pretty good girl. Although I did do a few little things. That was pretty cool. I wasn't one of those kids you had to put your foot on, so to speak. I don't mean to make a crass analogy, but I was pretty cool. I was pretty chilled out, so I didn't have a curfew. But I have a curfew now. It's still a couple hours away, but I think I'm gonna go. I might go take a dip in the pool. What are you gonna do? What are you going to do with the rest of your day to put yourself in a higher vibration, to put yourself in a better place than you are right now? Even if you're in a great place right now, what can you do to sustain that? If you're feeling terrible right now for whatever reason, what can you do to take yourself one notch up the ladder of positive energy? Ask yourself that, answer that question, go do it. Maybe you smile at somebody, maybe you say something good about yourself, maybe you look yourself in the mirror and go, I am good enough to achieve this. I don't know. You guys figure it out. Mwah. I got another video coming soon. I'm so sorry. I had the if you saw the thing about Moscato, yes. If you saw the interview, the little Snapchat, the quick one I had with Sharon, I do not know what happened, you guys. I use the same everything. The 30-minute interview that I had, which was fantastic, has no sound. What the hell? I don't know. So I may have to redo it with her, like from afar. She took a flight out today back to the States, which sucks because we had a beautiful background here. Anyway, I'm working on some new stuff. Please hang in there with me. I'm doing the best I can. I love myself anyway. I love you guys anyway. Mwah! As always, lots of love. See you later. From the Golden Lady to you. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.